Welcome to FYI, folks. For your information, it's the 9th day of November in the year of our Lord. Welcome to FYI. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Wherever you're joining us from, you at home here in Guyana, or you are further afield, you're in the diaspora, region 11, as we say, welcome. We are privileged to have each and every one of you, whether you're joining us on Facebook, you're joining us on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Wherever you're joining us from this morning, guys, we are superbly happy that you're here. The weather is really where we are. What about where you folks are? What about where you guys are this morning? Where you're joining us from? How things at your end? What are some of the things making the headlines? And how was the night behind you? How was the night behind you, folks? Donna McDonald, good to see you. Donna joining in from Facebook. Where are our tubers? We want to see the tubers. Donna is here, and a Facebook user and some other folks joining us. Guys, we're so privileged. We're so happy that each and every one of you are here with us. We haven't known other way personally, but good to see you, Leon, and I see Leon, Beverly Trim joining us too, and of course Donna is here, and all the other guys who are joining us. We're so happy you're here, whether you are on the YouTube or you on Twitter, you on Facebook, guys. We are so happy. You know, next year, we're going to be transitioning the morning program and the podcast to YouTube. So those of you who have not been subscribed to YouTube, please ensure that you do so. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure that you click on that notification button as well. It's more accurate and we find more efficient than Facebook, and you'll get that notification as soon as we're live, as soon as we post content in our page. You don't have to keep checking all the time. The app and the website does it all for you. It's YouTube. They're very helpful in that regard, and more of our content, guys, you're going to see on the YouTube. And we trust that you folks are well. We thank you for all of those guys who stayed with us late into last night on our program. We had a late start. We were talking to people right down to the wire of the program. That's how it goes sometimes, right down to the wire of the program. And I'll tell you this, I'll give you a sneak peek for those of you, especially our YouTube folks. Y'all know we develop a little bias. YouTube people, we with y'all. We should inspire over them Facebook people. YouTube people, we with y'all. Y'all must remember we, right? Remember we just inspire over them on Facebook. Folks, Nigel Hughes is going to be out with us this evening. Nigel Hughes, the man himself, talking about some governance issues and how some of that intersects with law. Yep. You see a lot of issues in politics end up in the court. That's how it intersects. A lot of issues end up in the court, folks. Joletta Sana and Leon Logan. Ayabo, Natasha Congraves. Good to have you here with us as well. Guys, we think we have one of the most beautiful jobs in the world. We get to we get to stay home, and talk to you. We work remotely. Thanks for joining us at work this morning. We're in the kitchen, and we're so happy to have you wonderful folks here with us. We're happy, Vanessa and Leon and Ayabo, Natasha, Petrol Thorne, and all the other guys. We're happy that you folks are here with us, and we get to stay home and work remotely. And you guys, we're so happy y'all are here. Cheryl Bascom Greenwich joining us from Barbados. Cheryl, how are you doing? Good to have you, Cheryl. Donna McDonald is here. Robin is here too, and I see some of the other guys joining us. Great to have each and every one of you guys. We got a lot to go through, and so we want to get right to it. A lot of stuff on the morning papers curated just for you, with you in mind. Joy Koja, with you in mind. Osman Edwards, with you in mind. Sherlyn Juice Tendry, and all your other folks. Hold it over for us, dear guys, and all the other folks joining us. With you folks in mind, we've thought about you. Guys, we trust you had a good night. We trust you had a good night rest. We hope nobody didn't torment you. We hope nobody didn't beat you in your sleep. And we hope that you guys are fired up and you are ready for this day that is ahead of us, this day that is here. I'm so grateful that it's Friday. It's Friday? It's Thursday? I'm so grateful. What day is it? Friday. I think it's Thursday. Friday, the 9th day of November. December, oh my God, it's right there. It's right there, good people, of December. My middle son, his birthday is tomorrow, the 10th day of December. His birthday is tomorrow, and he's turning a whole 7. Respect and manners to Ethan Lee. Respect and manners to Ethan. He's going to be 7 tomorrow, the 10th. Yeah. He's quite a handful, right? If there's ever a child who could ask 20 questions, that's Ethan. A lot of questions, whole day long. You see, whole day. I see some of you're wicked. Yeah, I say after I use you for. Some of you are wicked. Leslyn Charles watching us from Vermont. Good to see you, Leslyn. Let's bring us back. Let me talk to Leslyn. Leslyn, how are you doing? Vermont is Virginia. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's Vermont in Virginia. Suzanne Jacobs, good to see you. Where are you joining us from, Suzanne? I love the fact that people join us from all over the world. And that enables us to see, we are an international boarding program because of you. Folks, we got a lot of things we're going to circle back. There's some of the things we discussed at GCOM. Nomination day canceled. And what we didn't show you last evening, for those of you who joined us, is some comments on the British High Commissioner and her reverence for the list. Her reverence for the list, that she knew it. She said, she thought the list was okay and we could go to elections and shouldn't have any problems. Well, GCOM has walked back on that. We're going to get some responses from 2 very important people on, now that GCOM is now correcting the list. What did they think of the High Commissioner's statement? In retrospect, very interesting conversation we're going to have on that front. So stay with us, folks. Put up a cup of something with us, and let's get into the morning papers. Thanks, guys. Let's get into the morning papers. Quite a number of things brewing where you folks are and where we are as well. Nicola Anthony, good to see you. Is it Nicola or Nicola? Nicola Anthony, good to see you. Joy Pamela, good to see you as well, and all the other guys. Beautiful folks. Is it Juanella Garrett I saw sticking by there? Good to have you. Yes, it's Juanella. Good to have you. Warren says it's a frosty Friday. Warren, I don't know, but if you guys are familiar with TikTok, I'm not going to assume all of you are. They have some TikTok videos live. They just show you like cities. They just take a walk in any city around the world, and you need a plane ticket. Those guys help you out. They just go walking, showing you important places. And this morning, as I woke up, I went over to TikTok to see how our TikTok channel is doing. We have a TikTok channel too, folks. Look for credible sources on TikTok. You can find us there. I saw a guy walking through New York City. This looks like Manhattan. And it's snowing. I could feel the cold. I pulled the covers over a little tighter. They want to get up. He was walking through, doing what they do on TikTok, giving you a sense of how New York is now that it's winter and, Christmas is right there. It's right there. We're in the smack in the middle of it. If you see these snowflakes, how big? I said it's not snowflakes, no, it's hail. Huge snowflakes, but beautiful, very romantic city this time of the year. For all of you there in the cold, like Warren, we wish you guys the best and stay warm. Father says in the book, he fixed the bounds of rehabilitation. You're born right here, but you're gone so far. Oh, but we're happy. We're happy all are there because, had not been for some of you, the remittances this season, the remittances will be flowing. So we're happy. Warren is there. And every time Warren comes, he leaves a little something with us. So we're happy Warren there, working hard along with all the other folks who are in the diaspora. Let us know how the weather is where you are. Yeah. Warren is saying them boys in Manhattan go for running shorts. I saw that once with my own eyes. Warren and lying. I was in Manhattan. Guys, the place cool. The place cool. If you see you by hands in pocket, I can. I said, Father, you really said the bounds of habitation scripture, right? You really said it. You see, place cold. And there was this Caucasian dude running past me. No shirt on. Only a shorts. And this boy running like it's nothing. I said, look at the program them now. The printing people, he got the clothes because ordinarily running in the cold like it's nothing, like it's another day outside. And I'm fighting Now when he run past me, I feeling bad. I got my shoulder like a little much, I got my chest a little high. Cold biting me, and this guy running like nothing. A Caucasian dude running like it's nothing. I say, well, you are different, boy. I say, well, you are a superpower now. Right? It's all them people you are printing, all them meat and so on. You see? It's all them processed food. The body reacted different. Jacqueline Food Ice? Yep. Now, Shampasat said he wanted to see Irfan running shorts. It's his story here now. Yeah, come, good. Now you come out to do violence to Irfan. It's Good Friday morning. You want to do violence to Irfan. I see you, Maria, Vera, and Morning Stoby. I see Jacqueline Food Ice and Shampasad. Is it Tillo? Good to see you as well. And all the other folks who are joining us, wherever you're joining us from. Let's have a move on, guys. Bring up that big graphic for us with the morning papers, and then we have a move on. Good to see you guys wherever you're joining us from. Lots of things making the morning papers. First and foremost, Satrahan Kemraj. They're telling us jail for threatening head teacher. Satrahan Kemraj, folks, take it easy. Now we gotta go and spend Christmas behind bars. Why are you threatening the head teacher? Right? And this is on the East Coast. This threat was made. Threaten the head teacher. Well, some people don't take threats very lightly at all. Right? Especially when you're on the East Coast. They ain't taking threats very lightly at all. And now, Satrahan Kemraj gotta go and spend Christmas behind bars and that cold concrete. Right? The snow in them prisons is be cold, the floor and sun. That's what I say. It's be cold. They're telling us a 33-year-old Satrahan Kemraj was jailed yesterday and fined $75,000 for cursing. Right? Some of you don't know what I'm talking about. Cussing and threatening the headmistress of Strathspey Primary School. Told you, up on the East Coast there. Yep. So he's going to spend a little time now, and then he come back fresh for the new year. Think about his actions, and then come again. Satrahan, we got to do better than this. Look, folks, I get wrong all the time. You see? I get wrong all the time. Drivers cut you off and stop you right there. Pah! Y'all know what I'm talking about. Have your minibus. Cut you off, do all kinds of stuff on the road. People personally, friends, and so on. I don't like you. Sometimes I got a lot of cuss words swallowed around in my head. A lot of it. Right? But I ain't thinking down like that. I ain't going out like that. So we gotta behave ourselves sometimes. But that seems to be the default mode. Lots of folks. Just casually people talking about the weather. Oh, it's a beautiful sunshine. It's a beautiful sky, and it's only expletives coming. It's default mode. It's default mode. But Satrahan Kemraj now has time to go and contemplate on his actions. And that is one of the things, guys, making the morning papers. Yep. They're telling us, guys, we keep telling you, COVID is real. COVID is real. 21 new confirmed cases. 21 new confirmed cases. One in ICU. Remember when UCB won? And then it starts creeping up, but they told us. And the Chinese bracing it over there for it, because they now easing some of the measures, but the fear is ripe over there for another wave of COVID-19. The Minister of Health told us a couple of weeks ago to expect increased cases. That's not where I want to go rub up. These big events here, I want to do all kinds of story. Well, that's part of the challenge. That is part of the challenge. That's part of the challenge, folks. COVID. 21 new confirmed cases as of yesterday. Looking to see what those figures are going to be later on in the day. Samantha Shaw from Bushlot. Remember the 5-year-old who was murdered brutally on her birthday? The great niece and the neighbor, you remember it? Well, both of them have now been jointly charged for murder, and rightly so. Rest in peace, Auntie Betty, Samantha Shaw, and we hope that justice is served. The charge is not justice. It's one of the 4 steps to justice, but it's not justice. It is not justice. It's one of the important steps towards justice. But it's not the thing. Right? It's not the thing, folks. We head into what's happening in the international arena. Quite a few things happening. We're going to bring to you guys' attention. Quite a few things happening. Quite a few things. Brittany Griner, they're telling us, was released from that prison there in Russia, and we've been intermittently keeping you up to speed with what's happening with her. This is a female basketball player in the U.S. who was charged and jailed in Russia. She's been there for many, many, many months, and the U.S. have been doing their back channel work, and yesterday they announced that she'll be coming home for Christmas. There's a prisoner swap there, and Brittany is going to be home. It's going to be home for Christmas. Yep, that's what the folks are telling us, and we're pretty happy about that. Brittany, apologies, hold on. Brittany Griner, she is going to be home for Christmas, and her wife is very excited about that as well. Made a comment yesterday that she's happy that Brittany's coming home. Brittany's wife is very, very excited about that. Angela Edwards, thank you. Angela has just contributed to our program on YouTube. Angela, thank you. Just contribute, Angela Edwards. Respect and manners, Angela. Folks, those of you who join us on YouTube, write in the comment section. You can contribute to our program. If you look towards the bottom, there's a dollar sign there. Thanks, Angela Edwards. Thank you, Angela. As I was saying, folks, before Angela distracted me, that Brittany Griner, again, has been released. And it's coming home. And her wife says she's very excited. It's been many months, and of course, your loved one is going to be understandably very worried. You're in prison. You know, well, some of y'all won't be understanding because some of y'all are gone, you see. So, shouldn't you say prison? That's what some people waiting for, you know. I can see some of y'all seeing it right now. Thanks, guys. I know I don't jail you. Psychic mystic. Well, Brittany's wife stayed put. Some of y'all different, you know. Donna Joseph. Donna, we hope the weather improves at your end. Or even if it didn't improve, that you deal with it kindly. Right? Yeah. And Jolly Anderson is informing us that Brittany, is it Griner? Am I calling it right? Landed in Texas at 5:30 this morning. You know, we wish her the best. We wish them the best. We wish them the best. And happy that she's home, you know. Happy that she's home. Yep. Regionally, folks, regionally, some news we're following as well on the regional front. Remember we told you about this election in Dominica. Roosevelt's Carrot re-elected as Prime Minister. The opposition had refused to take part in those elections because they had some issues with the list at that end, and then it was a snap election too. It was announced in November for December 6th, and the opposition said they weren't going to participate. It was a sham and a fraud and all that. Well, the update on this, good folks, is that the Commonwealth Observer Mission says that the elections were peaceful and were free and fair. They were peaceful, free and fair, the Commonwealth Observer Mission. That's what they're saying. Right? That is what they are saying. It was peaceful, free, and fair. The opposition and Dominica have different ideas. They got different ideas at that end. They got different from that end. Yep. Tessa Isaacs, Andy, welcome. We see you there. Thanks, guys. Tessa, we see you, and Warren, I see you coming from the mountains to the prairies, the oceans to the with the foam. Yeah. We see that. Oceans white with foam. God bless America. My home is sweet home. Warren singing the anthem for us there. Thanks for joining us, guys. Wherever you all are joining us from. The 592, well, you all know at this point is where we are. Right? We're the 592, good folks. We're in the 592. Thanks to all of you who are locked in, folks. You're locked on and you're locked in. They're telling us that there's no shortage of chicken this Christmas. Well, after all, we didn't bring the giant, what's the one? The giant, black fowl. The giant blackbird, right? So the Minister of Agriculture, Mustafa, right? Zulfikar Mustafa, he says there is no shortage of chicken, even though he has admitted that some sellers, some vendors have taken the price up. So you got your November price and then you got your Christmas. You got Christmas price. Right. Stop a taxi the other day. Asked the guy how much you go wrong the car, 2,500. I said, eh? You know, you got a November price, you got a Christmas price. They said no shortage in chicken currently, according to them. But the vendors, he acknowledged the vendors have still raised their price. Cost of living, folks. Cost of living. I wonder how many tables this Christmas will go without chicken. How many people go into chunks? You know, I can see some people say, I saving me money, I buy the printer. I can buy the printer. I can print my chicken, print my beef. Right? I can save. Cost effective. Buy a printer and do what you gotta do. They're saying there's no shortage, but acknowledging that the price of chicken has yet gone up. Remember, it's already up. I remember the days, I don't know. I remember the good old days. I should have buy in Bass Freeze and store. Chicken was $100 a pound. You remember them days? Those were the glory days, $100 a pound of chicken. And then it went to $160. Long after that. Now chicken, $160. Somebody should laugh at you. They will laugh at you if you go to the shop and say, well, you'll get $160 worth. If I give you the tail of the chicken, that's what you might get. Folks, if you have a story, we want to hear about it. If you have a story, we want to hear about it. That's the number we want you. Send your story. Right? You got some information, you got some video, you got some audio, something interesting. Do let us know. Don't keep it to yourself. This is what we can't keep to ourselves. The Collins firm.
For all your legal needs and more, the Alistair Collins firm is the place for you. If you are looking to have your statutory declarations done, affidavit of income, affidavit of identity, or guidance replacing your damaged or lost passport, or lost license, you need the Alistair Collins firm. They can also help you with tenancy agreements, agreements of settlement, your power of attorney, your last will and testament, and certification of documents. The Alistair Collins firm is located at the Callion Mall, 162 Lamar Street in Georgetown between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths to affidavits and a justice of the peace. You can also call them at 649-6410 or 685-6446 or 503-1451. The Alistair Collins firm, help when you need it. For all your legal document needs and more, the Alistair Collins firm is the place for you. If you are looking to have your statutory declarations done, affidavit of income, affidavit of identity, or guidance replacing your damaged or lost passport, or lost license, you need the Alistair Collins firm. They can also help you with tenancy agreements, agreements of settlement, your power of attorney, your last will and testament, and certification of documents. The Alistair Collins firm is located at the Callion Mall, 162 Lamar Street in Georgetown between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths to affidavits and a justice of the peace. You can also call them at 649-6410 or 685-6446 or 503-1451. The Alistair Collins firm, help when you need it.
Yep. And the other jealous Alistair Collins. You know, you got your business, there's space for you, folks. Advertise now. And got more people walking through your doors. You have a product, a service, a business, an event. You wanted to get noticed? Right there. Right there, folks. Right there. Can't say we're keeping you in the know. Can't say we're not keeping you in the know, folks. Turn attention back to what's happening. What's brewing locally, folks. The chairman of GCOM told the Commission of Inquiry, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry yesterday, you know, she locked herself away because she was scared for her life. That's what she said. She was scared for her life, folks. That's what she told the Commission of Inquiry. And we listened to almost about an hour of testimony from the chairman of GCOM. Thanks, guys. Look, I didn't call this one early. After this commission is finished, right, the chair is finished. I call it early. I listened to Claudia Singh, I looked at her, and she may have started strong, but Claudia Tin, right now, her testimony is one who is not in control of GCOM. She is taken along by events. She is not creating the narrative. She's not driving the process. Right? Things are happening and she's reacting after the fact. If her account of events are to be believed, she is reacting as the chairman with immense authority to events and not ensuring that things go a certain way. And I'm telling you, in that report that is going to emanate from this CY, they might not release it. You watch and see. If them boys want her deal still, they're not going to release that report. In that report will be the recommendation that the chairman demits office. I call it, what should I tell you? In that report, they're going to submit the A finale. Right? They are going to say, she don't know what she's doing. She doesn't know what she's doing. And you cannot have somebody like her there. She's not helping the process. I've listened to her and she's not conducting herself as though she understands her role. 11 months after she's been there, she's saying she's a stranger to GCOM. 11 months after you were helming a company, you got another company top to bottom. Right? She said at the last election, she was employed appointed as chairman 2019 August. She was just shy of 1 year. Right? At GCOM in 2020. And she told me, I was a stranger. I didn't know what was happening, and she didn't ask him either. Right? And I kept telling you all, it is hard for anyone to believe credibly that Mingo could do X, Royalfield could do X, Myers could do X. According to the allegations, Hetsburger and Duncan and all the other folks, and Claudette is the only angel. She got all these demons around. And she come out of this whole process unscathed. Unscathed. Everybody ran, but somehow, and for the PPP to believe that they could preserve her credibility, right, and disparage the credibility of everybody around her, but she's the only saint in the hell that GCOM has become, is wishful thinking, and is either they're going to keep her on there and duck the report like they duck so many other reports you don't have a right to know and it's top secret and all the foolishness, or they're going to make the report public. And in that report will be the recommendation for a new chairman of GCOM. In the recommendations, she didn't comport herself like somebody who has an iota of understanding of the processes. Every question, I didn't know, I didn't ask, I didn't find out. And then her favorite phrase, I was a stranger at GCOM. I was a stranger at GCOM. Right? And then another phrase she had is something she said, I didn't care to know something. Well, the folks, the folks, if you hear the line of questioning the commissioners pursued, right? I think they kept at the back of their head is that this lady here incompetent. She might have been a great judge and served on the bench well, but this role here at GCOM, mismatch. You have to have somebody there who's driving the process. And she's just reacting to events as they happen. That's the tragedy. Claudette Singh will be the greatest collateral damage of this stunt that Irfan pulled. Right? Jagyo understood it, and Jagyo told him, don't worry with this commission of inquiry. We're going to go about the thing another way. You see? We get Soko to harass Carol Joseph and them boys, lock up a couple of them. We can carry some of them through the magistrate's court, bring electoral fraud charges against some of them. We can do stuff with the judiciary, with the elections, petitions, and so on. Right? But don't worry, this commission of inquiry. Jagyo told him, but they're from young and brash. Such were some of us. He want commission of inquiry. And Claudette Singh is going to be the greatest collateral damage in this whole process of this presidential COI. She is going to be the unintended consequences. If the PP don't want Claudette Singh there, she will not be there. They don't have to do a whole COI to get her out. The opposition has already stated they have no confidence in her. And if the PVP, the government, stated they have no confidence in her, that is it. She will resign. But they want her there. And as Starbuck News said this morning, and I told you guys last evening, you see, you have to hear from other people before you take it seriously, you know. I was shocked. That's the longest I ever saw Claudette Singh in one place since she was installed as chairman. Claudette Singh, Starbuck News says in their report, in a surprise appearance. Now, if you're constantly seeing the CEO of GCOM regularly and hearing from her on the issues of GCOM, it won't be a surprise. You see? Starbuck News says, in a surprise appearance, Chairman of GCOM Claudette Singh made an appearance at the COI. But that was a mistake. Right? Whoever put her up to that, you see, big PR mistake on her personal part in terms of commanding the respect of this nation in her tenure as commissioner, as chairman of GCOM. Horrible decision. Among the other horrible decisions she has made thus far as chairman of GCOM. This one going to be the icing on the cake of her tenure as chairman. And I'm telling you, I'm calling it very early. Claudette Singh will not be chairman of GCOM when this CY is finished. They can submit the report, they can take a couple of months, tell them by digest and so on. But the recommendation will be, so two things can happen. They can dump the report, say they don't see the recommendation, or they make it public and you will see in there. This COI will recommend Claudette Singh, well, she can be removed, she has to resign. That she resigns and that you have somebody else. I'm calling it. But while that's happening, the ABC, the ABCU, or they say the ABCE countries, the European Union being the E and the U, and alternatively, they're calling for Guyana to have more initiatives to root out corruption. To root out corruption. Them boys know there's corruption, and they don't believe the current administration is going far enough on these issues. And so they're now pressuring them. You got to put more steps in place, more initiatives. You see? Talking this thing not going to help. Action is needed. I saw Gail Teixeira was a part of heading some initiative to do with framework for corruption and something, or anti-corruption framework, something. You need more than just a symposium and a workshop. We got to live this thing every day. Every day. When respectability comes back to policemen in this country, we can know we're moving the meter. When a policeman stop you and he said left something, right? I guess there's a permanent roadblock at where's the police station here? In Region 5 there. Where is that? They always stop you at the roadblock there. Wherever it is there. Belladrum area. And the guy told me, left something, man. Left something. Left something for your buy now. And that is repeated thousands of times in this country. Thousands of times. Right? It's like a national something. Put out to the gas station recently, the attendant there. Left something for Christmas now. You know? Left something for Christmas now. That's why I like the US system. You just go, you swipe your card, you pump your own damn gas. You got to talk to nobody. You pump your own gas. Everywhere you turn, you stop in traffic, somebody's stretching their hand through your window, coming up to your car, knocking on the glass. It's a whole country of many countries we have. Unfortunately, because that's how the system set up. The rich, and the poor, we ain't getting by. Right? And sometimes the only difference between me and the man outside the glass is the father upstairs. Because little do the man knocking on my glass know, I want to stretch me hand out too. Right? The only difference is a little pride. Right? Because when I come and knock, I say, yes, this would have come to know. This we landed now. Here on the streets begging. Is only the little pride. And the father. That's the only difference. Right? But I understand the plight. But the pervasiveness of it, policemen, pump attendants, everywhere you go, people left a little something. If you want a little public servant salary, how you making it if you have left something all over the place? You got left something with your landlord, left something with GPL, left something here. Picking up the mail there, you see the post people left an envelope too. You see that? You could easily be broke and you don't get paid yet. You got left something all over the place. But that's the country. That's it. When we turn the corner on that kind of stuff, people are having to do stuff to supplement the salary. Right? I wonder how many people. Is it a Guyanese thing? How many people in other countries? Right? When somebody go to work, you working in the public sector, could be a private place, a private company, and you bust a bag and you're selling plant and chip on the job site. Right? You're selling the egg ball on the workplace. But I understand the socio-economic situation people are in. They got to earn something else. Right? But how fair to say, employer, that you come on their job and do your own business? How fair is that to your employer? You bust your bag, you're selling plant and chip, you're selling egg ball, you're selling juice. But that has become the cultural norm for us. See, because people have to supplement the income because you got to fight them boys for something more than 8%. You see? Fight them boys. You lose a government minister right now. You see? Don't tell me if when Ali sit down in the stand and that humanizes you and suddenly you just run away. No. Take $70,000 salary and live on that for a month. And come back and tell me. Right? Drive yourself to work. Right? Drive and pick up your wife and drop your son to school and son on 70,000 and come back and tell me how nice it is. I bet you see salary gone up 100% tomorrow. Take a 70,000 salary and make it. See, by weekend you can catch him bus. He must be only bus man too. Right? Lose them at 70,000 is easy for you to say, that's good, 8% is good, when you 8% alone is 150,000. See, man at the bottom, who 8% might be 4,000 or 6,000, them feeling the squeeze. And you, indifferent. That's like, you want to show that you is man of the people, you is from there, you take 70,000 a month and live on it. Mind your family on it. Right? Pay your house rent, pay your mortgage, pay transportation, put food on your table, and clothes on your back and come to work every day on time and do 8 hours and then go back home. And come and tell me how that is. Don't take no picture, play little dominoes, you take picture, you stand with 2 people hug up, and then you go home to where all the bills being paid, and you think you is one of somebody. All of a sudden. No. No. We got to root out corruption. Root it out. That's what them boys are asking for. Do you see that in the States? I don't know. Y'all tell us. Get out of the cock when you go to work. You know, somebody's come with a little time. Remember, I said, y'all gave, I met this last night. 2 for 10 cents. Right? I don't know. This is probably the only country on earth you see that. Right? I was in a school system when I was going to high school. We had a teacher who had his own canteen. He was the head of department. I think in our section, he has his own office. And the whole office was a canteen. Break time. So you're just selling everything you get. Corn, biscuit, this, that, everything. The whole office was the canteen. For years, and their teacher knew everybody. It wasn't a secret. You see? And of course, over time, people know if you buy from Sorry Angel, you get treated different as a student. You see? Of course, you don't want to be friends with everybody because you ain't going to patronize later on. You see? It was a big canteen, the whole office. It was a big spread. Every biscuit, drink, everything you get right there. I was a teacher in the school. Yeah. You got pay people properly, let this standard of living. People can have dignity in their work. Right? And it happens all over. You know, the socio-economic situation is so dire. Sometimes students bring in the egg ball to sell, the juice and so on, to make it. Students got to do that. To come to school, I got to bring tamarind ball and chicken foot and plantain chip to make it. We got to change that. When those things become history because of the wealth we've come into and how we've distributed nicely to everybody, cash grants or otherwise, and people living standards improve and they got to do them things to make it. They could just come to school and focus on the work, right? Focus on the teaching. You could come to school and focus on receiving the education. You could go in your government job and focus on just doing the government job or privately. Right? We're going to return the card. We're going to return the card. The biggest few folks, the biggest few, we said by GCOM tearing up the headlines. Yesterday, nomination day was cancelled. That's to tell you what happened by GCOM. The opposition told them the list you are proceeding to local government election with is not the correct list. That is a list suited for general and regional elections. They didn't care, they didn't hear, they didn't want to know. The whole PV said they are right and they're going down the right course. The chairman of GCOM said nothing. Absolutely nothing. We told him about the boundary situation as well. They did nothing. Right? We got the majority, might is right. And they're gone forward. Toilet law was filed the court case through Carl Smith Joseph, who right now is being politically harassed. And I believe it's at Soku as we speak, answering questions. Is there any correlation to this case and the upheaval the case has caused? And Carol being the person, the litigant? Is there a connection? Because of that case, them boys realize what will come. They knew it all the time, you know, but it's rigged the rigging. When we get to see why on that? It's rigged the rigging. And so now they know where the court is going to go on the matter. They're now trying to correct steps. The same list that they all agreed to, including one of the high commissioners who has voiced her opinion already on the list. They are proceeding with it. And suddenly, euphoria. They just realize, right? You know what? This list is not the right list. Right? So they just wake up. Right? Now faced with the court case, she just wake up. The list Is that the right list? And they're trying to correct course on the list and on the boundaries. And Dharmlal unilateral, the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, unilateral move to change boundaries of constituency. Of course, to give the PP an advantage. Suddenly, Claudette wake up, and in her ruling yesterday at GCOM's meeting, she said that he has no authority to do so. But that went by and she said nothing. But see, they got a case in the court. And now she's talking. You see? Now she's speaking. Now she just realized. And that happened weeks ago, you know. Weeks ago. She just realized, you know what? Pap. Well, as that nomination day was cancelled yesterday, it should have been the 12th day of December. Nomination and elections would have followed on the, I think the 12th or the 8th of March. Either or, if it was going to be in March. That is now in limbo. More than likely, that is going to be postponed as well. Further postponed. Further delayed. It has already been delayed. People don't like elections. Don't fool yourself. So that's going to be further delayed. Because nomination day is a precursor to that happening. Well, it's a precursor to that happening. Well, we sat down and we spoke with Royce Ford yesterday and also Vincent Alexander on the reactions to the nomination day being cancelled. This is what Royce told us in the first instance.
Aware that GCOM recently issued a press statement indicating that they would be deferring or cancelling nomination date, which is supposed to be the 12th of December, 2012. But I believe at this stage, we are not in a position to really rejoice at this time. The same statement issued by GCOM indicates that at this time, they still intend to pursue the provisions of Section 24A of the Local Government Act to resolve and to correct the list. I believe that GCOM continues to go down a road that will lead to a list which is still not in compliance with the local government election law. The list as prepared by GCOM was not prepared under the local government elections law. No order was made under Section 8 of the local government elections law. They purported to act under Section 5.6 of the Election Laws Amendment Act, which deals with a list prepared under the Election Laws Act and provisions associated with that act under the Representation of the People's Act. So at this time, I believe that GCOM, whilst they would have recognized that the list is flawed, the list is bad, the list is bloated, the list is dirty, and it cannot be used in its current format, I believe that the efforts and mechanisms that they intend to employ to correct the list cannot result in a list which is still acceptable and in accordance with the legal provisions governing a list of register of voters prepared under the Local Government Act. GCOM seems also to have come to the conclusion that the Minister of Local Government could not exercise the power to demarc constituencies within local authority areas. So there are two substantial areas which GCOM would have turned and altered their position in this regard. So the first thing that GCOM should be doing and the Guyanese people should be calling for is a new chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission. We should be calling for a new chief elections officer of the Guyana Elections Commission. They have presided over this catastrophe, this embarrassment, and this mess. So we can't necessarily ask them to correct it. Even in this process of correction, they're still erring substantially in a manner that cannot result in a list being properly in compliance with the law. In terms of the Guyanese people and what they need to do, they need to go to the regional offices, go to GCOM offices, and point out people who are not in your communities. Every person that remains on the list, every person who's not ordinarily resident in your community is the source of substantial fraud, is the source of potential substitute voting, and that cannot be allowed in your community. The existence of those persons on any list destroys your right, destroys your voice, and destroys your choice. This is about local government elections. This is about your protection of your rights in your communities. Is that under the general and regional election system, the laws were passed, I believe, on the basis of the acknowledgement of a residency requirement. The local government elections law specifically says in a much more greater and clearer way that residency is a requirement for you to exercise your franchise in the context of a local authority area. So there was a great consistency between what the law says or said in relation to residency, both at the general and regional elections level and at the local authority level. And the laws proceeded on that basis. Even Section 5.6, which they're purporting to use of the Election Laws Amendment Act, proceeded on the basis that resident and being resident in an area was a requirement. In 2018, the PPP, through Nandalal, I believe, filed a legal proceedings in the name of Christopher Ram and the Attorney General, when for the first time the Chief Justice concluded that under our Constitution and in accordance with our electoral laws, that residency was not a requirement. So the requirement for an election at the national and regional level no longer included the laws in relation to residency. So whilst residency remained in Section 5.6 of the Election Laws Amendment Act in relation to local government extraction of a list, because that section says that GCOM, if it wishes to exercise its discretion, can use a list prepared for national and regional elections for that purpose. So that requirement of residency no longer existed. So by extracting that list in which those elements are no longer present and applying it to local government elections, where in the context of that law, residency is the greatest determining factor, that list cannot be used for local government elections. Further, it is important to observe that the section under which they purported to act is a section that provides GCOM with the authority, if it wishes, to proceed to extract a list which now is no longer premised on residency, to use it for local government elections, when there is a specific law, the local government election laws, which specifically provide that residency is a requirement. This means that GCOM is being given by these laws the power to determine the qualifying factors for qualifying under these local government elections. Because 2016 election was done on the basis of the Local Government Elections Act, where residency was a requirement. On the basis of the 2018 local government elections, the same thing occurred. But at this elections, GCOM purports to exercise a power which was never used before in a law passed in 2000. That is why I went back to the little historical analysis as to what it meant in the context of residency. So they're now using a law which now referred them to residency, but no longer refers to residency, to be used in a law now, in a legal regime that requires residency as a requirement. So GCOM effectively, by that change in interpretation of the law by the Chief Justice, is able to determine different standards, different qualifying standards for persons to vote at different elections. If this was allowed to happen at these elections, it would have been on the basis of everybody on the list, because that is what effectively the Chief Justice said. So the next elections, another commission could have said, listen, we want to now go on to the local government elections law. We can't have an electoral system without that degree of stability and permanence and consistency which is required in an electoral law. GCOM can't be the authority to alter at its whims and fancies and its discretion what would be the criteria for persons to be allowed to vote at local government elections.
And it's on that basis, GCOM has had now to walk back. And it's very high-handed, high-falutin position. We feel the list is right, so you can't tell me nothing. And people agreed with them. And Claudette was going along with events, as usual. Going along with events. She won't rock no boat. Going along with events. A nice 2.5 million a month, 3.3 million a month. I ain't rocking no boat myself. You see? But that's not what's needed for chairman of GCOM. You got to be guiding the process. And we sat down with Commissioner Vincent Alexander. He was in the meeting that led to the nomination day being cancelled. Folks, these are political, if not earthquakes as yet, tremors. Historic. We're told that you haven't had such foolishness happening since, about around 1992 time. Some of you probably even born yet. Since around then. So to tell is unprecedented. almost. What's happening here at GCOM? You have to cancel nomination day because you're doing the work. Vishnu Prasad is there, man. They wanted him moved heaven and earth, push aside a qualified guy from Jamaica because he wanted, someone they think might be more pliable to their interests. And what is the result? Chaos and confusion. Chaos and confusion. When we spoke with Vincent, he was in the room. Miss Alexander, Commissioner Vincent Alexander, what's happening here? What is happening here? And this is what he told us.
One of the issues is the issue of demarcation. The laws of Guyana clearly and unambiguously provides for the GCOM to be responsible for demarcation of constituencies in local government areas. For whatever reason, the minister embarked on that exercise as if he had the authority. When the issue was raised in GCOM, the commissioners appointed by the government said they had done research and had concluded that the commission had acted correctly. We challenged that, presented a counter argument, and the chairman today gave her position, which concurred with our position, that the minister has no such authority, that the authority for the demarcation of constituencies solely resides with GCOM. So that is one issue which is outstanding, which has been resolved. And obviously the resolution of that issue will lead to other things, because it means that any demarcations done by the minister are now null and void, and GCOM will have to address that and to go about doing its own demarcation. The second issue had to deal with the question of the list. We have been saying for the longest while that the preparation of the list should have started with a claims and objections in relation to the voters list for the local government areas, so that objections and claims could have been done specifically in relation to the constituencies and the local government areas. Unfortunately, that is not what was done. The list was prepared in a manner as if they were preparing for a general election. And at the last moment, they were now seeking to do some exercise that would facilitate what should have been done at the inception. The CEO, over the last weekend, came to the conclusion that he, in his words, should appease the stakeholders by responding to the contention that what was being done was not affording voters the opportunity to go into claims and objections in the manner in which they should. He therefore brought to the commission a proposition which he said was partly influenced by the fact that APNU AFC had approached the court. That matter was discussed today. For all intents and purposes, it was agreed that action need to be taken in response to what he proposed, taking into consideration what's before the court, and that action in any circumstance would take time, and therefore we cannot proceed with nominations day as previously intended. There's a possibility, more than likely, we cannot proceed with the date for elections as intended, but the only decision finitely taken was to postpone the day for nominations, subject to internal work and discussions that will then produce a new work plan that will then indicate when we can do nominations vis-a-vis a date for elections. Of course, one may say it's a calamity. I think it has to do in some regards with the competencies within GCOM to have stepped off on the right footing. It also has to do with the fact that some commissioners were supporting what was unfolding and therefore did not lend to the kind of decision making that could have corrected this, because Commissioner Corbyn from the very inception was indicating that they were on the wrong track in relation to the preparation of the list. That in itself led to 7 to 8 iterations of the plan, 78 iterations of the plan, without necessarily addressing that critical issue the way in which it should have been addressed. So we have now gotten to the point where if we go forward, the court may well intervene, and so an attempt is now being made to correct what could have been corrected if GCOM had listened to the arguments of Commissioner Corbyn all along the way. Well, there's a difficulty in calling for the resignation of the chair in the context of what our Constitution provides for. Well, resignation, yes, because that means that she will resign. But the chair is someone who is not removable except for resignation, in fact. And I think that indeed there is an issue here because a chairperson can give leadership to a process that can arrest things which are not going right. And I don't think that that kind of leadership was indeed given to the process. Some weeks ago, I made the point that we have vacancies and that the CEO is overloaded, and being overloaded would in fact allow the Peter Principle to come into play. I think the Peter Principle has come into play because we need to have a DCO, we need to have a voter civic and education manager. Those people are not in place. The CEO is trying to do all of that himself, and separate and apart from his own level of competence, it has brought us to a situation where the Peter Principle has obviously affected the operations of GCOM.
Calamity. That's what's happening at GCOM. Calamitous. It's called confusion powder. And purgatory. That's what is gripping GCOM. The calamity. And the chairman should go. The CEO should go. They let us into this quagmire. Right? And they said, was it Einstein? He says, the problems you have today cannot be solved at the same level in which they were created. Right out the block. Vishnu has not impressed us. But folks, you remember we told you of High Commissioner Jane Miller, British High Commissioner Jane Miller, just a few short days ago, came out saying she trusts the list. The same list that she came back. She said she trusts the list. From the information I've received, I see no problem with the list for elections. But GCOM now come and say there's a problem. Mayday, Houston, we have a problem. We asked Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, who is also a shadow Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs. He shadows that portfolio. We asked him, what do you think about the High Commissioner's comments in retrospect to how GCOM has now rolled back some of their decisions in light of the court case? This is what he told us.
This is a very important occasion. The fact that GCOM itself has essentially discarded the list, has walked back from a process that it would have been initiated, which all stemmed on the heels of that very profound statement by the British High Commissioner. The High Commissioner must now understand that she was misled. She must now understand that whatever she would have been told by the government, whatever reassurances she would have been provided by the Guyana Elections Commission and indeed to the other members of the diplomatic community, that GCOM has failed to conduct the elections in accordance with the law. GCOM has failed to prepare a list, a register of voters in accordance with the law. You know, it is very important that this event occurred before the election, because from time to time we see the diplomatic community and indeed observers making very profound statements about the conduct of our elections without necessarily arming themselves and equipping themselves with both the information and the circumstances under which the lists are to be prepared, and in view of what is happening here, I believe that the diplomatic community now should find themselves in a different position in which they now understand that GCOM is failing the nation, failing to provide free and fair elections, failing to provide the opportunity for all Guyanese to participate in this electoral process. And without any fair electoral process, our economy could grow as much as it wants, but at some point, and I believe in a very short period of time, the international community and the investor climate will rapidly change, which will in turn deny the Guyanese the full rights and full opportunities that they're supposed to be enjoying at this time. This is a very important occasion. The fact that GCOM itself has essentially discarded the list, has walked back.
Yeah. Thank you, Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford. And we spoke to Commissioner Vincent Alexander on the very same issue. You had these comments coming out of the High Commissioner of Great Britain, Her Excellency Jane Miller, on the list that GCOM is now going back on. What are your thoughts? We asked Commissioner Vincent Alexander. This is what he told us.
Well, she did not refer to the situation we're now talking about. She was referring to the content of the list in terms of it not being bloated. That's my understanding of what she was saying. But she is patently wrong, patently misled in that regard, because nobody can contest the fact that there are thousands of people on that list who are not necessarily known to be alive, particularly those who died overseas, for which we have no mechanism for taking their names off the list. I think the British High Commissioner placed her foot in her mouth when she did that. And she ought to have been more cautious as a diplomat, even if she felt that was the case.
Yeah. She should have been more cautious on her statements, said Commissioner Vincent Alexander, GCOM Commissioner Vincent Alexander, on those words uttered by the High Commissioner of Great Britain. That the list is nice, the list is good, everything is all right. Go to front, Claudette, go to front, Vishnu. The list is nice. Folks, that's all we have for you. That's all we have for you. Nominations day cancelled. That's all we have for you. Guys, before you go, some of you slacked it up. Some of you slacked it up. Those of you especially who are joining us on Facebook, and sure you share the live, so others get valid and credible information. Those of you on YouTube, you're not exempt, because you can also share that link back to your Facebook profile. You can share it also to persons on WhatsApp and elsewhere. Share that link, folks. We want others to get valid, credible information as well. We're going to see you guys back at our podcast time today, folks. And we're going to circle back to some of these very issues in our podcast on that broadcast time. Good to see you, Sheila Boyd-Child and Old Front Parks, Gail Ali Cook. Good to see you, Lambert and Karen Hunt. Lambert, I'm always asking you to let us know how you pronounce this surname here. Karen Hunt, we see you there. Yolanda Thomas and all the other folks joining us. Valid, credible information. And guys, you know, we can't do without you, your love and your support, guys, and you're partnering with us. So we continue being out here, bringing you guys valid and credible information. This is how you can do it. We're able via Zelle, Cash App, PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union, all for your convenience. Guys, you have any queries? You need any guidance? 627-6963. You know, y'all body should body y'all. Especially those who have never contributed to our program in this way. Y'all come, you benefit from all the information. You eat your belly full, and then you just beat out. You ain't even tip the wait staff. You see that? You see that? Folks, share the live at least. Smash that emoji button. For those of you going to be coming back to watch the program later on, thanks for joining us as well. Share the program as well, folks. And again, we're available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union as well. Take care, guys. Stay safe and go ahead and have a great day. Have an awesome day.